Well, it sure is, and it would be a big win for the Bulldogs. They come in here looking for a signature win on their season.
Let's look at the tail of the tape, so to speak. Scoring, Tennessee outscores them by about 10 a game, but look at the shooting percentages. The Bulldogs hitting 50% from the floor and better than 42% behind the three-point line. And look at those block shots, 8.8. 6 of them are by one guy. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. Great backcourt play, too, for the Bulldogs. Brian Smithson is a great player.
He's a heady point guard, a spunky player. Of all his statistical line, the one I like, 58% from behind the three-point line. For Tennessee, Wayne Chisholm's role has become much more important now with Duke Cruz out. He's long, he's athletic, does a great job guarding the out-of-bounds pass in the full-court press. He'll need to use his fitness and his finesse in the low post for Tennessee.
Tennessee at 9-1 against Unc-Asheville, 8-2. And we'll be back with more from Knoxville in just a moment. Stay with us. Series record between Tennessee and Unc-Asheville. Tennessee has won all 4 of the previous meetings. All of them have been played here in Knoxville. Your starting lineup for the Bulldogs, K.J. Garland in the backcourt along with Brian Smithson. Earlier, Wayne Chisholm. Brian Williams, 6'10", about 270. He's lost 100 pounds. He weighed as much as Kenny George did, but he could see some added minutes tonight. They're both going to come off the bench. And welcome back to Unc-Asheville and Tennessee tonight here at Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. The Volunteers, as we told you at the top of the program, 22 straight wins here at home. They are a perfect 6-0 in 2007-2008. Unc-Asheville, coached by the veteran Eddie Beatenbot in his 12th season at Unc-Asheville. He's been around a while. He's won some games. And then, of course, Bruce Pearl in his 3rd year at Tennessee has his team 55-20, 73% winning percentage thus far for Coach Pearl. They're 9-1 coming in. Garrett Moles at 6'7", going to jump it up for Asheville, and jumping for actually it's going to be Vincent James at 6'7", and Tennessee will have Tyler Smith jumping at 6'7" as well. Your officials, Ted Valentine, Mike Kipps, and Ernie Field. And we're going to toss it up again. It was controlled by Asheville, but we're going to toss it one more time. Tipped again, controlled in the backcourt by Garland. K.J. Garland, senior from Greensboro.
Tennessee, of course, will start with their man-to-man pressure defense in the half court.
Brian Smithson, we talked about him. Great senior from Kennesaw, Georgia, runs the offense.
Which is going to be a lot of motion. You will see the Bulldogs use a lot of time off the clock. They are not a team that wants to go up and down the floor with Tennessee.
On the block, back outside to Moles. Moles flips it over here to James. Down to 16 on the shot clock. Smithson will reset it off the pick. Smithson drives, puts it up, partially blocked, no good. Saved by Chisholm. He'll hand it off to Jordan Howell. Tennessee with the basketball. Howell down the middle. Layup is good by Howell.
Nobody stopped the ball. Jordan Howell took it all the way to the rim. Great rebound on the other end by Chisholm. That's what we talked about in the pregame about the athleticism and the length that he has.
Tennessee leads 2-0. Smithson out front, guarded by Juwan Smith of Tennessee. Moles between the circles, drops it off on the left to K.J. Garland. Garland guarded by Howell. Garland left wing to Moles. August, rather. Out on the high post to Vincent James. James puts it on the floor, drives. Knocked out of his hands by Tyler Smith. And Asheville gets the ball back with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
He's forcing that.
Smithson, 5 seconds. Could not get it in.
That's that out-of-bound defense we talked about with Chisholm. He's got such reach, and he guards that out-of-bounds inbound pass so well.
Tennessee up the floor with a 2-0 lead. 18.5 minutes to go in the first half. Juwan Smith down low. Tyler Smith, soft left layup, and it's 4-0.
Great slash across the baseline by Tyler Smith, and he planted himself, got his feet set, kept his defender on the back, and had an easy lay-in.
Smithson off the pick by James. Over on the right side, it comes to Reed August. Garland, Tennessee putting a lot of pressure on that ball out front. You're going to have to. This team shoots better than 42% behind the line.
Tennessee will make them in an uncomfortable shooting range. They will guard them well outside the 19-9 line.
5 on the shot clock in the corner. Vincent James, 2-1. Shot clock violation. Tennessee's defense very, very impressive in the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Something I know Coach Pearl is really proud of, because one of the things Tennessee's worked hard on in his 3 years is a better half-court defense. Their press defense has always been good. They've improved considerably in their half-court defense.
Chris Lofton guarded by Garland. A couple of great senior guards guarding each other here tonight. And a whistle and a Eddie Beatonbaugh wondering what? Who said something?
You know, preseason, one of the things, points of emphasis, was that they were going to keep the coaches' chatter down, but I certainly didn't see much there. And Coach Beatonbaugh's looking like, gosh, that's a little tough.
Lofton hits the first. Tennessee's lead is 5-0. And here comes big Kenny George. Lofton hits a pair. Now, when you got a guy that's 7'7" and blocks as many shots as he does, though he doesn't play a lot of minutes, you've got to change some of the things you do offensively.
And they will. And what Tennessee will do, I'm sure, in transition is move it up and down the floor. Kenny has got to be a little more of a half-court player. I think the challenge for him, Kenny George, will be seriously to be in the same half-court with the basketball against Tennessee. They're going to want to slow it down and play a half-court offense and certainly a half-court defense with him in the game.
And now George in for Moles. 6'7" being replaced by 7'7". It's unbelievable. I mean, this guy is huge. Does he wear a size 30 shoe or what? I should know. 26.
Is it a 26?
Size 26 shoe.
I can promise you that's a special makeup.
Oh, yeah.
That's not off the rack.
Well, Eddie Beatonbaugh still talking with official Ted Valentine. Not the one to call the technical. One of the other officials. Tennessee's got the ball. Lofton wide open for 3. Yes! Tennessee out to a 9-0 lead. Volunteers pressing full court. Garland quickly up to Vincent James. James takes it all the way in. Layup no good, but a foul.
There's a case where Chris Lofton gets squared up behind the three-point line and makes the shot. And Tennessee couldn't start this game any better. I mean, the first shot, that's the first shot that UNC has taken, and they've had a couple turnovers, and Tennessee has not missed at the other end.
We'll get another. That one's good. Much better form that time. 9-1. Jordan Howell working against Smithson in the backcourt. There's Chisholm. Tyler Smith down the lane, drops it off to Howell. Nobody wants to shoot right now for Tennessee, 10 feet from the basket. Tyler Smith gets the rebound off the miss and follows it up and in. Tyler Smith with 4. Tennessee has an 11-1 lead.
And that's a great example right there of just how important mobility is. Even though he gives up a foot inside to Kenny George, he was across the baseline, got the rebound, puts it up off the backboard before Kenny George could get his hands up.
Tennessee's hit 4 out of 5. That one was the miss, and then the follow by Tyler Smith. Tennessee by 10. First 4 possessions for Asheville. On this field goal, 1 out of 1 free throws and a couple of turnovers. On the block, it goes to big Kenny George. Back to Garland. Out front to Smithson. He works it to the right side. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Smithson being held by Ramar Smith, who's in the game now for Tennessee.
To put up against Kenny George.
They called the foul on Juwan Smith, not Ramar. And Brian Williams at 6'10". And Ted Valentine's going to say something to them. So, you know, we can dance after the game.
If they have a lane to pass it up into his hands, that's got to be the inbounds play. Just lob it up into his hands in front of the rim.
Well, they get it into him. George flips it back out front. Garland's got the basketball. I think everybody wants to see the kid, you know, play. You know. Down low, George. Oh, good. Rebounded by Tyler Smith, and he's fouled. Knocked to the floor by John Williams, 6'4" freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, is in the game 21.
And on this play, you'll see when the feed goes into the post, Kenny George is probably 2 or 3 feet further away than he would like to be. And Brian Williams did a good job.
Backside jam. J.P. Prince with an assist from Jawan Smith. My, oh my. 13-1, Tennessee.
First game for Prince here in Knoxville. His coming out party was Saturday night against Western in Nashville. And he is a very, very fine player. Good addition for Tennessee.
George misses it. Knocked out of bounds. Touch last by Tennessee. And it'll be Asheville's ball when we come back, but we'll take a timeout. Timeout on the floor. 15:32 to go here in the first half. Tennessee in front 13-1. We'll be back. UNC Asheville down 13-1. They have not made a field goal. They're 0 for 3. They've only gotten 3 shots off, 2 of them by the big Kenny George. Tennessee is leading the country in assists per game, 21.3, and you see they're in some pretty good company. Kansas, VMI, Davidson, and Notre Dame. And they already have 3 in this game.
They have a lot of ball handlers and a lot of guys who can pass it well. Tyler Smith's been a good addition to that. I think.
Inbounding it again, Asheville. They get it in the corner to Williams, the freshman. He'll toss it back out front to August. Garland with a long 3. Nice job. He spotted up well and had the right form for that one. First field goal, a steal. Smithson, 3-on-2 all the way in. Layup, no good. Tipped by Reed, no good. Childress had the rebound taken away from him, and a foul on Ryan Childress of Tennessee. And that's his first. There's the lob, comes to Kenny George. Gets it back out front. Brian Smithson down the middle, off the foot of Chris Lofton accidentally, and went off his heel. Out of bounds, and it will belong to Asheville with 28 seconds on the shot clock. 15-1 to go in the first half. K.J. Garland has the only field goal of the game. Throws it deep into the backcourt, almost threw it away. Saved by Smithson. You may jump out in front of this Asheville team, but they're not going to quit. And they will be back.
And when you can shoot it like they do, 50% on the year and 42% from the three-point land, and they always have a chance to shoot themselves back in the game.
Smithson to Garland, off balance. 3, no good, off the side of the rim. It goes out of bounds. Will belong to Tennessee. So the Volunteers get the ball back. Ramar Smith takes the inbounds pass from Ryan Childress. Tennessee by 9 early. Here's J.P. Prince along the baseline. Lofton, nice carry-up shot, and he had to carry it way up to get it over George.
Great adjustment by Chris then to get it up over Kenny George. High outstretched arms there.
They get it into big Kenny George to Garland. 15-4. 7 points in the game now for Chris Lofton. Right side to Reed August. He's guarded by J.P. Prince. And the whistle away from the ball. The foul will be against Tennessee's Brian Williams.
Using that elbow bar, and he got caught for it. There you see Chris Lofton with the little floater up over Kenny George there. Chris Lofton has always been a shooter who can make the adjustments necessary to get it to the basket.
Brian Smithson all the way in. Nice job. Smithson just kind of coasted past Childress for the layup.
He's a good point guard. He's a scrappy player, a heady player, plays with good quickness. Nice point guard.
Childress out front, guarded by Williams. Brian Williams thought about a three, gave it off to Ramar Smith. Tennessee with 17 on the shot clock, and the Volunteers with a 9-point lead. Lofton, Williams blocked by George, out of bounds. It will belong to Tennessee with 10 seconds on the shot clock. J.P. Prince takes the inbound, falls away, shoots it off the back of the rim. George with the rebound. Clears it to Smithson. Here come the Bulldogs. Smithson backs out of there, waits for his team to get set offensively with 13 minutes to go in the half. High post in the block. George, that one just kind of hung on the lip of that rim. J.P. Prince with his second slam of the game. He's got 4, and Tennessee's lead is 11.
And there's that case where the defense for UNC-Asheville was just knocked back down under the basket, and so he was wide open for the dunk shot.
Smithson, George, shot no good. Rebounded by Williams, picked up by Prince. Prince up ahead to Ramar Smith, knocked out of his hands. He'll back it out of there. J.P. Prince on the left side. Gets it to Lofton. Long three. And that is a new school record for Chris Lofton. 348 career three-pointers for Chris Lofton, and he breaks the old record of Allen Houston.
And that is some milestone, too, because Allen Houston was a great shooter, and he still has the bulk of his senior year left. He has a good shot at the national record.
And a 5-second violation, a turnover, gives the ball back to Tennessee. Lofton is also 18 shy of the SEC record held by Pat Bradley of Arkansas. And as we look at it again, we'll take a break. 11:55 to go. Tennessee up 20-6. Tennessee's lead 20-6, under 12 minutes to go in the first half. Chris Lofton right before the timeout had his three-pointer that gave him the school record, now 348. That was the first one. Here is the one that broke the record.
And that was as pure as it can get, too, Randy.
And the crowd gave him a standing ovation.
As they well should. The greatest shooter in Tennessee history from long distance, and there's where he stacks up in the SEC.
Chris Lofton, second in the SEC, now dropping Houston to third. And Pat Bradley, his career mark is well within reach.
Oh, he should reach it. What's he, 19 away?
Yeah, 18. Asheville's only hit 2 out of 10. Tennessee 8 of 11. Volunteers with the basketball. Jordan Hall's in. Now Chris Lofton. He has 10 points on the game. Juwan Smith spinning off the glass, no good. Rebounded by the freshman John Williams. And a reach-in foul. So Juwan will sit for a while with 11:30 to go, picking up that second person. In the game, Sean Smith, sophomore from Stockholm, Sweden. He's a long way from home right now. A.J. Garland. Bowles back in the game, stolen. Tyler Smith took it away from James, and jammed by Tyler.
That's a big-time move right there. Had a defensive guy, let him go underneath him, went up on top and made the dunk shot. That's his 6th point for tonight. Versatile player, standout sophomore.
Tennessee's lead is 16 now. Vincent James pressured by Tyler Smith again. We're under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Smithson all the way. They gave him the lane, and he took it to the hole. 4 points for Smithson. Tyler Smith, right side for the Volunteers, gets it to Lofton. Lofton all the way, off the glass, too hard. Rebounded by Asheville. Here come the Bulldogs. Smithson brings it up. On the block, Vincent James dribbles, turns, flips it to Garland.
Interesting matchup with Lofton on Garland. Garland's got great quickness. Shows you they've got confidence that Chris Lofton has really improved his foot speed while at Tennessee.
Mike Smithson backs it out now under 10 to go on the shot clock. As you look at the shooting comparisons, Tennessee doing much better. Smithson, 2 seconds, stolen. Chisholm comes out of there with the basketball. 5 turnovers, and Tennessee turns it right back. James misses. Prince gets the rebound. Tennessee with the numbers. Now they slow down. Howell is wide open. Missed it. And Smithson chases the loose ball down. Garland holds travel. 6 turnovers now for the Bulldogs. Tennessee sending Brian Williams back in the game. Chris Lofton comes back in. And Jordan Howell will bring it up the floor. Chris Lofton on the left side to Tyler Smith. The block, it comes to Williams. Feeds Prince. Prince, reverse layup. Beautifully done.
Prince had a great game in Nashville against Western Kentucky. He has been the guy that the Tennessee players have been talking about in practice before he played his first game Saturday, saying that he's as skilled as anybody out there. He, along with Tyler Smith, give Tennessee a really good 1-2 punch in a 6'6", 6'7" size range.
Down to 16 on the shot clock. Under 9 minutes to go in the first half. Sean Smith holds, missed it. Rebounded by Chisholm. Here we go. 4 rebounds for him. That was Tyler Smith that got the rebound. Brian Williams saves it. And the loose basketball picked up by Asheville. 3-on-2. Smithson all the way in. A blocking foul against Tennessee. And I believe it's going to be Howell's first foul, and it is.
Well, as Smithson goes hard to the basket, they're going to say that Howell did not quite get back, and they call it a charge on him. He still had his feet moving. Good call.
Smithson, 6 points for Smithson. That cuts the Tennessee advantage to 14. J.P. Prince down low to Brian Williams. Down to Childers. Missed a shot. Blocked beautifully by George. Picked up by Asheville. Second block shot of the game for Kenny George. Benson. James takes it in. No good. George follows. And a foul.
Large. Your hands are too big for the ball. It would be like us shooting a softball, and that's very tough to control from outside.
Oh, yeah. That's a good analogy right there. Lamar Smith off the pick by Williams. Down low. Jawan Smith up and over George. Had to adjust that shot. First points of the game for Jawan Smith.
Well, that is a rainbow that he had to make to get it up over Kenny George.
8 assists now for Tennessee. Smithson off the block. Off the pick, rather. Down to the right corner it comes. There's a long 3. Brian Williams with the rebound. Crowd wanted a foul on George going over his back, but Jawan Smith, so bang! 5 points for Jawan Smith.
Have to put a little number 2 in the right-hand corner when he graduates. He's lived there for 4 years.
29-11. Tennessee's lead 18. High post, it comes to Kenny George. Lobs it, knocked away by Childress. Turnover into the hands of Lamar Smith. 7 turnovers for Asheville. J.P. Prince with a layup.
Great feed by Lamar Smith. He looked off of Prince. He looked like he was going to throw it again to the corner for the 3-pointer and dropped it off to Prince. Beautiful feed.
8 points off the bench for Prince. Tennessee's lead is 20. Out front, Brian Smithson with 6:44 to go here in the first half. Smithson guarded by Lamar Smith, and they're milking that shot clock. A collision out near midcourt. 2 out of 4 from the field, and he hits another free throw, and it's now 31-13. He scored the last 8 points in the game for Asheville. Stephen Pearl's in the game for Tennessee.
looks like zone defense here for UNC-Asheville and try to make Tennessee take a little more time and reset their offense.
Juwan Smith brings it to the right against Garland. Smith backs out. J.P. Prince puts it on the floor. Down low to Chisholm. Nice power move by Wayne Chisholm.
Using that athleticism we talked about before. A good, quick drop step to the basket and lay it up off the rim for the hoop. He needs to use his fitness and his finesse.
Smithson. Whoa. Charge on Brian Smithson, who wanted to dunk that ball. I believe it's 6 feet tall.
He was going for over the top of the rim as you see him back cut there, and he was going to try to dunk it. And a great defensive position by Steve Pearl. There he is again. Pearl was there all the way. I noticed him elevating way above the rim in the warm-up, so not surprised that he's got that kind of lift.
Tennessee's lead is 20. Fake. Chisholm puts it up. He traveled. Stephen Pearl. Right corner. Holes. Give and go. Garland and a foul on Juwan Smith. 3. Well, Ramar and Juwan are both the same size. They both wear the headband. And one's number 2 and one's number 12. If you have bad eyesight like me, it's hard to tell sometimes. Chisholm, turnaround jump shot, no good. Tipped up and in. Who got that? Prince, I believe, or Pearl. J.P. Prince, who has now had 5 of 6 and has 10 points for Tennessee. Volunteers by 20 again. Out front, James with a 3. Way off. Air ball. Chisholm with a rebound.
Good defense by Stephen Pearl. Held his position, had a hand in his face, and did an excellent job on just fundamental defense.
Tennessee misses a shot and a couple of tips. Smithson with the ball. 4:21 to go. First half. K.J. Garland, Smithson for 3. Off. Rebounded by Asheville. Taken out of there by Reed August. Asheville's 1 out of 5 from behind the line, and Garland hits it. Garland now with 7.
He can score them in bunches, and he has really not gotten off yet. He takes more field goal attempts than anybody on the team. Outstanding shooter, has a good field goal percentage. He's got 7 now. He's kind of got him warmed up.
Stephen Pearl with a nice left-hand layup down the lane. 2 points, first 2 of the game for Pearl. And the Volunteers lead 20 again.
Good to see Stephen Pearl. Nice drive, nice use of the left hand, and keeping the defender on his hip.
Reed August, guarded by J.P. Prince out front. 3.5 minutes to go. Vincent James with a nice fake. He faked Stephen Pearl out of his shoes and got the layup. 3 points for Vincent James.
Nice ball fake and took the step across and laid it up off the glass.
Prince with a miss. Rebounded by Pearl. The loose ball saved by Lamar Smith, who missed the layup. Tip no good. Tipped again no good. Chisholm dropped out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bulldogs with 3:05 to go. Tennessee's lead is 18. We have just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half, and J.P. Prince, Bill Justice, is making his presence felt.
Well, he got a great alley-oop pass there. Now you'll see him slash into the 2-hand dunk. Here's the impressive move. Across the baseline, using the rim as a protector and using the left hand to put it up off the glass. Good all-around player. Great addition to Tennessee heading into the Southeastern Conference schedule.
Prince is still on the floor along with Lofton, Tyler Smith, Wayne Chisholm, and Jordan Howard. Vincent James, right side. It comes to freshman John Williams. Smithson. Well, there's a mismatch. Chisholm against Smithson. Out front, Garland open for a long 3. Nice shot by K.J. Garland, who has 10 points.
He's not afraid of that kind of range either. He's got the range of a Lofton. I watched him in the warm-ups, and he's 3 or 4 feet behind the 3-point line.
Tyler Smith, nice move, missed the shot. James with a rebound. 2 minutes left in the first half. James had it knocked loose by Tyler Smith, picked up by Prince. Great feed, Prince to Tyler Smith. Give Prince the assist. That is 5 for him.
Great wing entry pass there. Long wing entry pass off the bump.
Oh my. Smithson rips a 3 from out front. He's got 11. Tennessee's lead is 14.
And those two guards with 21 of the 25 points. As we said, they're very perimeter oriented in their offensive end of the floor.
J.P. Prince out front, Lofton for three. Yes.
Boy, he looks solid tonight on his shot. I watched him in the pregame in the warm-up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it was nothing to see him drain 10, 12 in a row. I believe his shot is right on the mark.
13 for him. He's 3 out of 3 behind the three-point line so far in the first half. Under a minute to play in the first half. Tennessee's lead is 17, and UNC-Asheville calls a timeout. Tennessee's lead is 16 with just under a minute to play here in the first half. Pearl of the Volunteers. Bill Justice and I will also have first half highlights and stats for you. Tennessee's biggest lead thus far in the game has been 20. They've had it a couple of times. They have led all the way in this one. There's Coach Pearl, team looking to be 10-1. And you know, a lot of teams in the past for Tennessee be 10-1 right before Christmas. People would be going crazy, but they are to some extent, but everybody expected this.
And they should. Tennessee's schedule stiffens up. When they leave here, they go this weekend and they play Xavier in Cincinnati. They then go to play Gonzaga at Seattle, Washington, and then they get to the SEC part of the schedule in January.
Garland and Williams tried the alley-oop lob, wouldn't go. Tennessee gets the ball. I think Jordan Howell may have gotten away with a double dribble right there, but we won't call it since the officials didn't.
I don't have a whistle.
30 seconds left in the first half. About a 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Howell drops it off to Tyler Smith, right side. Brian Williams works it to Jordan Howell. There's the backside lob. Smith couldn't handle it as he went up for it. Out of bounds, it'll belong.
Sometimes you mistime your jump on that, and he may have been coming down when he should have been going up and mishandled it.
2 seconds, 1 second. Garland gets it away. It's no good. Wouldn't have counted had it gone. And Tennessee's lead is 16 here at halftime. The Volunteers shoot 56% from the floor. Chris Lofton leads the way with 13. J.P. Prince off the bench with 10. And Prince, you can add 6 assists to his total for him as well. Tennessee leads it. Stay with us. We'll be back with our halftime activities here at Thompson Bowling Arena in just a moment.
South Kia, the power to surprise.
Tennessee leads it 42-26 over UNC-Asheville. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by. Welcome back to Thompson Bowling Arena. Tennessee led by 20 a couple of times in the first half, and they lead it by 16 here at the break. I'm Randy Smith along with Bill Justice as the Volunteers look very, very good, forcing a lot of turnovers, holding a good shooting basketball team to a low shooting percentage and building a 16-point lead.
Yeah, the Bulldogs guards got heated up there late, but Tennessee ran out, was up by 20. Lofton and Prince both putting on a show, both shooting very well. They've got over 20, and so did the guards from UNC-Asheville.
Chris Lofton with 13, including 3 out of 4 from behind the three-point arc.
Looking very comfortable with his shot tonight, and it's great to see him break out there with a beautiful shot up over Kenny George to get the ball up in there. A perfectly on-balance three-pointer. Looked very well tonight.
Here's a look at your first half statistics. The Volunteers with a 16-point lead. They've hit 56% to only 33% for Asheville, and this is a team that hits 50 or better. 3-point field goals. Asheville not that bad. 3 out of 7. Tennessee's 4 of 8. Lofton with 3 of those. Look at the assist total. 14 assists for the Volunteers as well. Bench points 12-1.
I'll tell you the statistic that Bruce Pearl likes there. Only 8 attempts from three-point land. They have had an emphasis on getting more two-point shots inside and those shots that are inside the three-point line, and they're getting those tonight.
Tennessee 9-1, looking to be 10-1 when the evening ends, and they have a 16-point lead here at halftime. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, if anybody should ever had intensity for a middle name, it would be Bruce Pearl. He's amazing.
A great philosophy, too. Keep it in the now, play in the now, get better every day, every minute. The one question I would have, when is it that he's laid back? He mentioned that early in there. I haven't seen that.
I've never seen him at all. Well, there's one testament. Right before Christmas, with the students gone, this building is almost full to see Tennessee play UNC-Asheville. That is an amazing testament.
Tennessee basketball is important again. It's pertinent again around the state, around the Southeast, and around the country.
Stay with us. Tennessee leads it by 16. We'll be back with more from Thompson Bowling Arena in just a moment. As the Volunteers come running out onto the court for the second half of tonight's game, they have a 16-point lead. Your leading scorers in the game for Asheville, K.J. Garland with 11, Brian Smithson with 11, 22 coming out of their starting backcourt, Vincent James with 3. Not much else for the Bulldogs. Tennessee with great balance, Chris Lofton with 13, J.P. Prince with 10, and Tyler Smith with 8, Juwan Smith with 5, and J.P. Prince also has 6 assists in the first half coming off the bench. Tennessee's lead is 16. We'll be back with the start of the second half in Knoxville right after this. 16-point lead at the break. Will get the ball first to start the second half. Tyler Smith will inbound it at midcourt. And we are underway. Howell off the pick. The 3 is there. Jordan Howell.
Flat screen at the top there, so he had his choice on going either way. Got just an inch open and made the shot.
Tennessee's lead now 19. Their biggest has been 20. It was a couple of times in the first half, and a 5 by UNC-Asheville.
Good balance on his part there. He almost lost his balance to get him. Covered himself, gathered himself, got his feet under him, and was able to make it.
Lofton for 3. Off the side, no good. K.J. Garland with a long rebound. Smithson open for 3. Off, no good. Smithson had the rebound. Tennessee had it stolen. Garland stepped in front of Lofton. In the corner, Reed August misses. Tip no good. Smithson in front. Tried to bounce it to August. Vincent follows up, no good. August had the rebound, finally taken away by Chris Lofton. And Tennessee wants a timeout. Bruce Pearl, as we called him intense, is incensed at this point.
And what he's upset about is the defensive boards there. They just kept getting more and more attempts.
Timeout. 18:51 to go. Tennessee by 17. We'll be back after this timeout.
And that's the way they play, and he brings that same intensity. He has it still right now. He just wants consistency out of his basketball team at this point in the season.
Well, he came out of the huddle, wouldn't even talk to him.
Oh, he turned it over to somebody else. He was afraid he'd say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Out front, Howell between the circles. Juwan Smith behind the pack. Nice 3 by Juwan Smith.
Juwan was listening, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 8 points for Juwan Smith. Tennessee's lead is 20 again. Biggest up and bounced in.
Little searcher there, but it found the bottom of the net.
Searcher. I haven't heard that before. Coming from a shooter, I'll have to remember that. Juwan Smith. Bang. Talk about streak shooters. Juwan Smith is on a streak.
And one of the best streak shooters that I can remember Tennessee having in years. And when he gets it going with his athleticism, he's going to be able to get shots. But when he's hitting them, he's really hard to stop.
K.J. Garland backs out of there. Tennessee's lead 20. They go down to Vincent James is taken away. Tyler Smith 3-on-3, spinning, dropping it off to Chris Lofton, who's open. Missed it. Tipped around. Ball on the floor. Lofton comes out with it. And Tennessee will reset it. And a nice hand from the crowd on great hustle by Lofton.
That's what he was talking about in that huddle on that timeout, was let's play with see some people get on the floor. Let's have a few floor burns out of this.
Tyler Smith backs in and puts it in over James. 10 points for Tyler. Under 17 minutes to go here in the basketball game. Tennessee pressing full court. Tennessee's largest lead of the game now, 22. Smithson guarded by Jordan Howell. All the way down, drops it off to Moles, who did a nice job of a left-hand layup for the senior. 5 points for him, all of them in this half.
Great job of drawing the defense by Smithson to make a nice assist.
Tyler Smith back to Juwan Smith. That one rimmed in and out. Lofton. And a foul. Foul will be on Moles, and Lofton will draw 2 shots. Last miss by Juwan Smith. He was on a streak. He had 2 in a row.
There's the pass out to the top, and he hits this one at the top of the key. So 2 long shots from different spots. When he gets it going, he's really dangerous. Good to see Chris Lofton get fouled. He needs to take it to the basket and get fouled, get himself more engaged, and I know that's one of the things Tennessee wants to do. He needs to present himself to the basketball aggressively. He's going to be guarded by 2 or 3 people all year.
14 for Lofton tonight. That's his average. Kenny George back in the game. He also has 3 rebounds tonight as well. And along with George back in the game, Tennessee's Brian Williams comes in. Lofton hits a pair. He's got 15. The lob down low. George give and go down the lane. Williams no good. Follow no good. Over the back. The foul on Kenny George. His first foul. And we come the other way with it with 16:04 to go.
And he did foul, but boy, is this a nice dish. Good hands and good eyes to the driver to the basket, John Williams. He made a great feed there, and then foul trying to get the rebound coming over the back.
Romar Smith in the game. J.P. Prince is in the game. Lofton will sit down. Prince. Brian Williams going to knock down a 3, and he hits it. Brian Williams.
People love to see the big guys go out and shoot threes, but I tell you, I've seen him in practice. He can make that shot.
He's got a nice touch.
He can make that shot.
Timeout. 15:46. Tennessee's lead now 25. Timeout. We'll be back.
We're number 12.
That's
yeah!
right.
Academic integrity.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, his mama's money's going to a good cause right there, I guarantee you.
Here's where we see Brian Williams go out, and Kenny, if you're not going to come out and guard me, I'm going to shoot it. Now they'll talk about that one in the film sessions this week. He had a big smile on his face at the timeout.
Brian Williams.
Tennessee's 9th in the NCAA with 10.2 made 3-pointers per game this year.
Asheville with the basketball. K.J. Garland drops it off on the right side to Sean Smith, who's back in the game. On the high post, the block. He drops it off to number 21, John Williams, and the foul from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a pair. The lead is 23. J.P. Prince puts it on the floor. Tyler Smith up and over. George bothered that shot, whether he got his hand on it or not.
Simply didn't give any ground. He had a lot of real estate that he could take up, and you couldn't get by.
And Brian Williams is going to foul. Tennessee's lead 21. Lofton, how open can you get?
Well, I tell you, when you beat that full court press, there's bound to be somebody open down at the other end. The long pass down that ate up the last yardage. Good play by Tennessee.
Smithson had it knocked away into the hands of Childress, and the foul on Asheville. That will be Brian Childress gets the personal. And how does somebody like Brian Smithson, 6 feet, 170, knock down Ryan Childress, 6'9", 235?
I'll tell you, he runs in and he attacked him. Add a tackle to his stat line there.
Second foul on Smithson. Under 15 minutes to go in the game. Lofton. Here's Prince. Lofton is open. Missed it. Brian Williams with a rebound. Back out front to Romar Smith for 3. In and out. No good. George had the rebound. Prince was going to put it up, and he said, nah, I'm going to bring it up.
Thought better of it.
14:24 to go. Right side, J.P. Prince. Brian Williams, no look to Childress, who had the block, or the dunk blocked by George. Lofton. Childress puts it on the floor. Tyler Smith, great feed to Prince, and George blocked it but fouled him. Second foul upcoming on Kenny George. A.J. Garland almost lost it. He brings it to the line, missed it. Lofton with a rebound. Tennessee comes the other way. 4 rebounds for Lofton. There's the lob for Prince.
Great combo, great pass by Chris Lofton. Great lift by Prince. 13 points for him.
Garland defensive blocked out to August, who got the 10-footer in front. What a alley-oop and lob. Lofton to Prince. Childress misses it. George with a rebound. 4 boards for Kenny George on the game. Smithson down the middle of the lane, carries it up, no good, but a foul. And here's a look at it.
Beautiful loop by Lofton, caught on the way up by J.P. Prince, and he flushes it. He's just great in transition, and as a slasher, he and Tyler Smith are both that kind of players.
J.P. Prince. Tennessee with a very deep basketball team. They play a lot of people. Lofton dribbles in the lane, drops it off to Chisholm, who puts up a 3. It's short. George gets the carom, his 5th rebound of the game, and he's going to play point guard. 7'7", bringing the ball up the floor. Even Bruce Pearl laughed at that.
If he'd have taken it all the way across half court, I don't know if Coach Biedenbach would have laughed at it.
I guarantee you he wouldn't have made it. James. Oh, nice one. I don't know if that was a pass or just a terrible shot, but anyway, Kenny George followed it in. 3 points, his first field goal.
It'll count as a rebound and a field goal. He influences the game. I don't care what anybody says. He influences the game with his size, and you got to give him credit. He does a good job for him.
Tennessee backs out after the miss and the rebound. Just over 12 minutes left in the game. Here's Chisholm going to try a 3 from the right side. That missed. Long rebound by Prince. 11 on the shot clock. Childress. Chisholm blocked. Beautifully done by the big fella. Kenny George with 4 block shots. Smithson. And a tripping foul. In Bowling Arena, Knoxville, Tennessee with a 21-point lead with 11:43 to go in the game. Randy Smith and Bill Justice with you here courtside. Well, we've seen a lot. We've seen the tallest player in basketball in Kenny George for UNC-Asheville, and we've seen that guy, Chris Lofton, set the school record for 3-pointers made in his career.
And we saw a wedding proposal.
Yeah. Even
from the video cam, we saw a wedding proposal.
Well, it's the holiday season. Everybody's cheerful. It's been a great night. But it's not over by any stretch. 11:43 is a lot of time against a good basketball team. Smithson out front, guarded by Ramar Smith, down to just over 11 minutes to go in the basketball game. Vincent James works against Chisholm. John Williams, the freshman, guarded by Childress. 14 on the shot clock. Smithson off the pick, tried to hit the picker. 7 seconds. Garland. 4. Smithson for 3. Yes, boy, they milked every second out of the shot clock, and Smithson knocked down the 3. He's got 18.
Tennessee played great defense at that time, but a lot of patience by UNC-Asheville, and they ended up getting the shot that they'd like to have anyway, the 3-pointer. They love the 3-point shot.
10:50 to go. Ramar Smith between the circles. Tennessee's lead is 18. Tennessee has not scored in the last 3 minutes. And Chisholm is fouled as he goes to the hoop. He'll get Garland off the pick. Carries it up and in. Count it. Plus the foul. K.J. Garland. Well, we're going to count it, but it is a charge.
Charge after the shot.
After the shot was released. That's
Randy banked it in.
Ramar Smith guarded by Smithson. Ramar blocked by Williams, but a foul on Ramar Smith before the block by Williams. 2 points for him. Asheville gets it in. Tennessee's lead has been chopped to 19. and a blocking foul against Wayne Chisholm of Tennessee. And Bruce Pearl is saying, nope, he pushed off, shoved off. 4 points. 50-6. A 67-50, 17-point lead. There's Duke Cruz on the bench in street clothes. He's been out a couple of games with medical condition that the doctors want to run some tests. His heart was acting up. So we don't know when he's going to be back.
I understand he's going to Atlanta for a second opinion. And, of course, as they should, the privacy clause is in effect there. So he's out until he can play again.
Tennessee's lead has been chopped to 15. Tyler Smith. Wayne Chisholm is open. Missed it. And the rebound taken away by UNC-Asheville. Here come the Bulldogs. I told you at the 11:43 mark, with a lot of time left.
Is in the bonus, and there are no weak free throw shooters. This is an excellent free throw shooting team.
1 out of 2 free throws for Smithson and a foul on Mike Smithson, and that will be his 4th. 6 points for Howell, 7, who makes 2 for 2. Tennessee's lead is back up to 16 now. Here's KJ Garland bringing it in. Outside it comes to Reed August. KJ Garland has it. Kenny George guarded by Brian Williams, who's in 10 seconds on the shot clock. Woo! Pretty three-pointer by KJ Garland, who's got 14 points. And that one was his first bucket from this half.
Kind of a 3 for 2 here. They're hitting a lot of three-pointers with their outside guys starting to hit it. And Tennessee scores with a 1 or a 2.
Juan Smith comes out. Oh, he doesn't. He just went to the corner. Thought he was going to the bench. Well, Williams thought about it, but
he wants to say perfect. 1 for 1.
Howell off the block by Williams, dribbled it off his foot. And the crowd thought there should have been a travel and might should have been.
Feet in the air. It looks like he was traveling as they gave him possession of it.
KJ Garland, Tennessee's lead is 13. Bulldogs on a 19-5 run. Garland. Yes. That was a 2. Tennessee's lead 11. Tyler Smith. Jordan Howell played catch with it.
Garland now with 18, and I'll tell you what, that's that scorer mentality. He feels it.
Juwan Smith misses the 3. Kenny George with a rebound. They score here, they can get it done.
Big Orange landscape, you're sure to see a lot of big numbers, but the turnstiles and scoreboards aren't the only things that get a workout at UT games. Those red and white recycling containers see a lot of big numbers too.
69-58, 7:42 to go. KJ Garland has hit a couple of big baskets here, including that one, which was a 2.
He usually does here at Thompson Bowling, coming from behind 25 points to cut this lead down.
As Tennessee's 0 for 9, Asheville is 7 out of 8 during that stretch. There's the lob. Lofton, Prince missed it.
Had a great opportunity. He was open, and it was a good pass. It just hit.
Williams stepped on that baseline. 14 turnovers in the game. Really, when you think about it, at this stage of the game, 14 is not that many.
It isn't, and they've had 2 in a row, and they're only down 11. If they had cashed in those without those turnovers, we'd be in single digits.
Jordan Howell, Tennessee just over 7 minutes to go with an 11-point lead in the ball. Down low to Williams, who lays it up and in.
Good feed from the wing, a great wing entry pass by Jordan Howell, and a good job of a jump stop there by Brian Williams and using the backboard.
Lofton takes it. 5 rebounds for Chris Lofton. 6:36 to go. Lofton down the middle. Brian Williams with the rebound. Yes! 2 buckets in a row for Williams. 7 points for Big Brian, and the lead back up to 15.
And a big offensive rebound. That's kind of reminiscent of what he did Saturday night when he had 16 points and 14 rebounds in what was really a coming out party for him in Nashville. 2 straight times down the floor there with a nice feed from Jordan Howell, putting it up on the glass, and then he comes right back, gets a big offensive rebound, steadies himself with a little dribble, and puts it off the glass. That's just good fundamental. That little dribble helps you get your position, get you back in balance.
That was a nice post move. 5 points for Kenny George as he went to his left and shot the ball.
Nice use of the backboard and nice pivot. Well done by Kenny George.
Lofton. Nice shot by Chris Lofton. He's got 20.
The big hand up in the air by Kenny George is just a good target for Chris Lofton because he shoots that floater about as well as anybody in the Southeastern Conference.
Ryan Smithson. Tennessee trapping out front. They get it to a wide open Williams, who launches a three and hits it. John Williams, a freshman. 5 points for him. Tennessee's lead is 12. Tonight's attendance, 21,001.
Well, that's a great crowd with when you consider that students are probably all gone and you've got a football game to be played here in a couple of weeks, and it's kind of a holiday break time. It's a great crowd and a great proof of Tennessee's basketball program being right back at the top. A lot of it.
7 points. He missed it. Front end of the 1-and-1. Rebounded by Williams. Here comes Smithson. Garland traveling. Smithson led him well with a great pass, but he took too many steps to going up for the shot. 15 turnovers in the game to only 7 for Tennessee.
Guards getting the ball down the floor quick. The Jordan Howell flying through the air made him take the extra step. Good defensive recovery by Jordan Howell.
They clear it out for J.P. Prince, and Kenny George knocked the pass away. That's 5 deflections for him. Garland puts up a long three. It misses. Williams had the rebound blocked by Brian Williams. Smithson's got it out front in the corner to Reed August for three. That's no good. Kept alive. Saved back to Asheville. August all the way down the lane. Missed it.
4 or 5 attempts. I tell you what, UNC Asheville is very, very active on the offensive end.
And a timeout. After this game, Tennessee.
Sounds kind of funny when you say it out loud.
He's going to take a few days for Christmas, and then they'll be back in the swing of things.
Actually, they go Saturday at
That's right, Xavier.
Yeah.
And then after Christmas, they're facing Gonzaga in Seattle, Washington. Then they come back home for their first SEC game on January 9th. Or he's ever going to play in the NBA, but he can play professional ball overseas. People will pay just to come see him.
Absolutely. I'm very impressed. I'm impressed by his demeanor. A young man, you got to give him credit.
Howell misses. Kept alive by George. Chased it down. Still battling. Still battling, and he kept it alive until his teammates picked it up. I tell you, I'm just really impressed with the tremendous attitude by the big fella. Garland. Williams all the way. A layup is there. It's 75-65.
And on that play right there, drive to the basket, he had the biggest screener in college basketball.
Well, let's look at the game summary. Tennessee's lead is 10, 3:40 to go. Brian Smithson, 19 points, 5 assists. He's hit 9 of 11 from the field and 4 block shots for Kenny George. For Tennessee, Chris Lofton's 347th career three-pointer came in the first half. Breaks the school record held by Allen Houston. And the Volunteers, Bill Justice, have 22 assists on 28 made field goals.
Great job of sharing the basketball by Tennessee. I think in the second half, and I don't know, I have no idea what the rebound numbers are, but UNC Asheville's clawed their way back in the game by hitting big three-pointers and also getting a lot of second rebounds, second and third shots on the offensive end.
And shoe. K.J. Garland all the way down the middle.
No defensive help. Blew by the defender and had a clean path to the goal. You've got to stop the ball.
Tennessee's lead is 9. Lofton. Tyler Smith in the game. Juwan Smith, Brian Williams, and Jordan Howell. Lofton off the block by Williams out front. Nice soft jumper. It's a 2 for Lofton. 22 points for Chris Lofton, and Smithson lost it out of bounds.
Bad pass from the baseline went off his hand here. Watch how he measures the distance between himself and the defensive player, which in this case is Kenny George. Keeps a perfect distance to make his shot. A heady basketball player, great basketball IQ, just like he's had ever since he's been at Tennessee.
Brian Williams out front. Tyler Smith with it. 2:44, three, no good. Rebounded by George. 10 rebounds for Kenny George. They go inside to James, and behind him with a foul. This is front end of a 1-and-1. August had his shot blocked by Tyler Smith, and it comes into the hands of Jordan Howell. That was a big block.
It was a big block, and fortunate for Tennessee because there's another offensive rebound off the missed free throw.
Juwan Smith down the lane, drops it to Brian Williams, back to Tyler Smith. Nobody wants to shoot it but Kenny George in the middle.
That's wise. That's wise. At this point in the game, there's no reason to challenge that. Just bring it back out. You got plenty of time on the clock.
Lofton shoots, misses. George with a rebound. Oh, great feed. Garland to James, who missed it. And the rebound by Tyler Smith. We're under 2 minutes to go.
Tough miss for UNC Asheville there because they had a wide open shot. Tennessee again beating down the floor on their defense.
Tennessee's going to back it out. 1:42 to go. Volunteers lead it by 11. Juwan Smith up. Good. That was a big bucket by Juwan Smith that extends the lead to 13. 13 points for Juwan Smith.
Takes the momentum a little bit back in Tennessee's direction and means that UNC Asheville's got to speed it up on the offensive end. There's only 1:20 left.
Smithson playing with 4 fouls down the middle. Got it. And Eddie Beatonbaugh wants a timeout. 21 points now for Brian Smithson for UNC Asheville.
The team comes in here with playing on the road against a ranked team. They get down 25. You got to look at UNC Asheville and say this is going to be a good basketball team this year. Part of that lies in the fact that they got 4 senior starters, but they've come in here and played Tennessee a whale of a ball game. They could have packed it in, but they didn't. They've made it a good basketball game.
Well, Tennessee, who had 4 of 8 from behind the line in the first half, 5 of 20 this half.
A lot of those 22 were big guys drifting outside where they would. You know, the first half we talked about how good Tennessee was on getting 2-point shots. In the second half, they come back out and go back and start shooting nothing but threes.
Just over a minute to play. Juwan Smith into the front court. There's the double team. Over to Lofton. Jordan Howell under a minute. Howell's going to launch a 3. Williams with a rebound. Boy, that was a big rebound because Tennessee gets a fresh 35. And the foul on John Williams stops the clock with 51.7 seconds left to play.
Howell, a 73% shooter from the free throw line, so he is a good free throw shooter. I wouldn't call him a great one. I think Lofton and Juwan Smith are the only two maybe that you would say that are great free throw shooters. They're above 80.
Howell, who was 2 for 3 before that shot, now 3 out of 4 as he makes it. The Tennessee lead is 12. 8 points for Jordan Howell. You know, John Shulman at Chattanooga, who played Tennessee off the, I mean, he said if we'd had 2 more minutes left on the clock, we'd have beaten them. But he was so impressed. He said the key to Tennessee's team was Jordan Howell. I mean, he is just the glue.
And he's improved so much. When he came here and I saw him in the first practices, I did not think he could play for Tennessee, and I certainly didn't think he could play in Coach Pearl's style. Talking about Coach Shulman at UTC, that's a fine basketball coach. He does a great job. I remember seeing him beat Tennessee up here a couple years ago. 3 years ago, I guess it was.
Kenny George with a little dunk, and you know, it's not a thunder dunk, it's just goes in.
Places it in there softly.
7 points, 12 rebounds, 4 block shots for Kenny George tonight. Cameron Tatum is also in street clothes for Tennessee, has not played tonight, along with Duke Cruz. He's limping a little bit.
He's got an ankle injury. I think he was in a boot a little earlier in the week, and He may have been game time, but I think they counted on holding him out this week. Try to get everybody healthy over the holidays and heading into the SEC. Tennessee's got a good 10-man rotation. It'll probably be cut down by a guy when they get into the SEC, but they got a lot of players and a lot of skill.
There's another shot at Duke Cruz, who I hope the tests are okay.
I do too. His teammates, Brian Williams in particular, gave him a lot of credit for his outing on Saturday night, saying that Duke was his mentor on the bench the whole game. That says a lot about Duke Cruz.
A reach-in foul by John Williams.
They
first, especially when they stink. You know, then it's a
better than they were last year. They are really, really great guards.
Think what they would be if they had him back another year.
Great guards.
Tyler Smith, 2 for 2. 2 big free throws for him. The Tennessee lead 13, 22 seconds to go. A.J. Garland is fouled, or there's a foul away from the ball. Juwan Smith gets the foul, his third. Tennessee will be at Xavier this Saturday. Then after Christmas, they will be facing Gonzaga up in Seattle, Washington, the number 18 team in the country. Then back home on January 9th, starting the SEC portion of the schedule with Ole Miss. 21 minutes for Garland, and a quick foul in the backcourt will send Chris Lofton to the free throw line with 13.9 seconds left.
As we head into the SEC, it's an interesting year. It'd be hard right now to name a clear-cut favorite, probably in either side, the East or the West of the conference. Tennessee's the highest-ranked team in the SEC, but I don't think anybody's separated themselves in the preseason yet. It's going to be like football. You're not going to be able to count on too many wins on the road.
Lofton makes the first free throw. Lofton with 23 points on the night. He'll get another. Nice night for Chris Lofton.
Good shooting night, and the timing is good. Tennessee will need him at his best if they're going to make a deep run. If you've got an All-American, that's the year that you need to make a deep run in the tournament, when you've got that one guy that when you need the shot, he can make it for you.
10 seconds left. Brian Smithson against Jordan Howell. Smithson's three. Missed it. George follows from in front. No good. Juwan Smith rebounds, and that is the ball game. Tennessee gets the win tonight, 86-73 over UNC Asheville, as they go to 10-1 on the year, and Asheville is now 8-3. Once again, the final score tonight from Knoxville. Tennessee wins over UNC Asheville 86-73. And Bill Justice, I have really enjoyed working with you again. This is a very, very good Tennessee basketball team.
Great Tennessee basketball team. Great environment with the new Thompson Bowling Arena. It looks terrific in here. With thanks to Sports South and their sponsors for putting an emphasis on Tennessee athletic, both men's and women's basketball. It's been great, Randy.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Same to you, and Merry Christmas to all the viewers out there. Have a great one.
Our final score again, Tennessee 86, UNC Asheville 73. For Bill Justice and our entire Sports South crew here in Knoxville, this is Randy Smith wishing everyone the happiest of holiday seasons, saying Merry Christmas and so long from Rocky Top.